Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have another question for you guys. Is the Zieten still bad in 2024? Some people call this ship Voldemort, the ship that shall not be named. I won't mention any names, but Big B, you're in the box. Anyway, if you guys don't know who Big B is, I highly recommend you check him out. He's an awesome streamer. Usually streams late at night though, because he lives in Hawaii. So you guys are up late and you want to watch some World of Warships Legends, some high-level World of Warships Legends, much better player than I am, highly recommend you check him out. He's about as chill gets, I swear. I don't think I've ever heard him get upset. It's impressive. But anyway, back to the story at hand. We are in the Zieten, and we have a question. Is this truly a bad ship in 2024? Now, I'll be honest with you. I hate this ship. I hate everything about this ship. I hate the fact that it only has one gun in the front. I hate the fact that it looks like a Zumwalt destroyer had a baby with a Bismarck and a Tirpitz. I don't know what it is, okay? I really don't understand what this ship is supposed to be. It looks way too modern to be as goofy as it is. Like, I get it, but I don't. There is some good things about it. I mean, it has really good torps. They're mounted in a good position on the ship, other than the fact that their centralized position allows them to be blown off a lot easier. We're in trouble here. You don't want to be got broadside here in the Zieten. But we're hoping to get turned away. But those railguns from that Richelieu reaching out and touching us, we got very lucky. Anyway, back to the story at hand. It has very good sonar. It's got great secondaries, as is the case for most of the German battle cruisers. It's a taste of what is to come. It's not the main course. Ruprecht and Schlieffen are the main course. All right. Okay. I should say this is an appetizer of what could be if it wasn't as annoyingly bad as it is at times. But it does give you like that moment of just absolute glory of having these secondaries just yeet. Not to mention this, the main guns are decent on this if you can get them to hit the target at range. But you don't want to be at range in this thing very often. And you got to be careful because the armor of this thing isn't the greatest either. We've talked many times about these battle cruisers and their lack of armor. And the good thing is about the German battle cruisers, they tend to have that extended belt, aka the icebreaker that everybody likes to talk about. What we call it when we're designing ships, if you guys have never watched my Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought stream, it's called the extended belt. It's the fore extended belt. They have an aft extended belt potentially as well, but the fore means the front. So the fore extended belt means your armor protection at the waterline goes all the way up to the bow, right? So it's not called an icebreaker necessarily, even though that's the nickname it's gotten in the World of Warships Legends community, but I get it. I get why they would think that. Most people think that the armor's there because of the ability to break through ice in the North Sea, and you could warrant some some credibility to that thought process maybe. But the end of the day, the Germans were heavily armored and had a turtleback armor scheme. These don't really. The lower tier battle cruisers do, but these ones don't. But the reason for that is because they were planned to be engaging ships in the North Sea, where visibility is low. They needed armor because they were expecting to be in fights up close and personal. Which is why the battle cruisers probably were never built, right? Like, I'm not 100% sure on all of these, but I'm pretty confident that the Zieten, the Schlieffen, the Ruprecht, all of those were probably never built. I don't know my history right off the top of my head for the German ships, I'm sorry. But I would expect that they probably aren't. But the Germans had limited building capacity and limited budget for their navy. The Germans were far more focused on a land battle. They wanted the Lightning War, the Blitzkrieg, whatever you want to call it. They wanted to be able to take over countries on land in a very quick and decisive battle. They wanted to catch the enemy off guard, push in. So the Navy kind of took a back seat. They did build a couple of capital ships that were fantastic for what they were. The Bismarck and the Tirpitz, or Tirpitz, I forget how it's pronounced, but Tirpitz is what I call it. the Bismarck, the Tirpitz, Gneisenau, and the Scharnhorst, the Greshpe, like, all of them had a specific purpose that they were built for. And they were quite good at what they were built to do. But the problem was they were just simply outgunned. Like, you can't take on the entire world with 2 battleships and a couple of pocket battleships. Like, you just can't. So, unfortunately for Germany, that's not how things worked out. Now, obviously, fortunately for everybody else, that's not how things worked out. But we've put ourselves in a pretty decent position for this thing. Like, we've managed to keep ourselves out of too much trouble. We're utilizing the island to kind of protect our bow a little bit so that we can kind of cheese things with our secondaries. We've already gotten 3 fires with the secondaries. We've gotten Citadel, showcasing that these guns are quite decent. But you can see the shells coming in from everything. Like, this isn't what you want. You don't want to be the center of attention in these things, especially early on. Later in the match, you want to be able to trade those hit points for the big guns, right? Like, you want to be able to go for these shots, and that was horrendous. That'll make you cry. But the rear turret being a 360-degree firing angle as well is amazing. But Summers fortunately managed to help get rid of the Iowa for us. Gneisenau starting to move out from the islands. We've got to keep an eye on him. We're actually sending Torps in his direction here soon, just to keep him honest, you know? We don't want him to sneak out on us. Now, obviously, we've managed to get rid of the biggest threat to us. Yes, we have a Sinop here. Yes, we have a Gneisenau over there. And you can see I'm kind of like expecting him to continue reversing here. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Torps and just kind of make sure that if he does come out, that we're ready for it. But with this Sinop here and this other battleship, I forget what I think it's the Richelieu, right? We're just trying to limit who can shoot us and force these guys to come to us. Now, we get another fire on the Sinop out there, and so we love to see that. The Gneisenau has lost the majority of his hit points, and again, this comes to just good team play. Our team has completely dominated, and this is the story every time I try to get these sorts of games. Like, I want to showcase the strengths of the ship, and I feel like I did that in this game by being able to be at the front, take those hits, stay angled as best we can. We're going to show the weaknesses as well with being able to be chunked from pretty much everywhere, as you'd expect. But these guns are much more accurate than you would get on, say, the Bismarck or the Tirpitz. Even though Tirpitz, I feel like, is usually a little bit more accurate than the Bismarck. Bismarck has been buffed a lot. And if you go into an accuracy build on the Bismarck instead of going full secondaries, I feel like the accuracy is pretty decent at this point. But I still think that the battlecruisers have that edge in accuracy, as well as just having way better secondaries. Like, it's not even a question. If you ever go up against a Schlieffen, a Zieten, a Ruprecht, any of these battlecruisers with their secondaries, I guarantee you are far more worried about the secondaries of these ships than you are on the Bismarck, right? And the Grosse Kurfürst. Because the accuracy, not to mention the size, there's a lot of 150mm secondaries on this thing that do damage, but they also set a lot of fires because they're reloading decent, and they have a lot of smaller guns that are actually helping set fires. So not only do you have to worry about the main guns being decently accurate, but you also have to worry about the secondaries on these things. And then when all else fails, they still have torpedoes that hit like a frickin' freight train, even if they are a little bit slow. So, I apologize that this isn't the craziest game you've ever seen in the Zieten, but it was over very, very quickly, and we still put up over 100,000 damage. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I personally think that the Zieten probably gets a bad rap from most people. It performs, I would say, adequately. I wouldn't call it a great ship. I wouldn't call it a bad ship. I would say it's average to maybe a slightly above average in the game. But let me know what you guys think, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.